This is a great question, and if there was ever a trial that had a wacky timeline, it is this one. It's taken 5 years for this thing to come to trial. So let me just walk through. I did a little bit of research. Let me walk through all of the reasons that this thing got delayed. And it was the defense every single time. And I think because the judge is trying to do his best to give him a fair trial, allow for the defense to kind of get all their ducks in a row, this has caused all the delays, but it's also caused an excruciating amount of pain for Maya's family, who keeps suffering this over and over and over again. So let me get into it. Okay, Larry is arrested in October of 2021, and he's immediately incarcerated. He has been in jail this entire time. In November of that year, he pleads not guilty at his first arraignment. In June of 2022, so this is 7 months after he was arrested, his lawyer, Benita Martinez, states that she doubts his competence to stand trial. So she has made a declarative statement to the judge that she's not sure Larry's all there and not sure if he should stand trial. This requires a pause in the proceedings. So the judge, based on law, has to pause the proceedings so he can be examined by medical professionals. So he undergoes all of the assessments, and in September of 2022, they come in and it's to say, yep, he's competent. Okay, the preliminary hearing does take place in January of 2023. Now, according to all the reporting I can find, this was, quote, unusually long. This is usually just a preemptory where the prosecution goes, here's the case we have, and the judge goes, yes, you can proceed. This was 3 weeks long. They put forth a lot of evidence, including deleted text messages, his Google searches for the basically roofies, the subliminal devices he was using, the spellcaster emails. There's a significant mileage gap on his car, which no one can explain. There were shots or bangs heard on the neighbor's video cameras. So all of this was put into this preliminary hearing. It lasted almost 3 weeks, and the judge is like, yep, there's enough here. Let's go to trial. Now, this is where it starts to get a little dicey. I think the first trial is set maybe August of 2024. But before we can even get anywhere close to that, his attorney, Benita Martinez, comes forward to the judge and says, we need delays because there's a financial situation. Now, at the time, the home that they had was going into foreclosure. They were trying to do this probate thing so they could sell the home. Larry could take his half of the home toward his defense, but that was going to take some time. It was locked up in all this legal mumbo jumbo. So the judge delays it because Larry's having financial problems and he can't pay his attorney. And Benita Martinez is like, I can't afford to do this for free. Like, he's got to pay me. So if I have my dates right, then it's postponed and Benita Martinez decides it's time for her to peace out and new attorneys come in. Now, in fairness, they have to learn the case. They have to start from scratch. So it's delayed again, and best I can figure, we're looking at maybe August of 2025. Now, in July of 2025, there are still claims. The defense says they need more time due to the financial hardships. They haven't been able to, like, they need to hire experts. They need to do all this stuff. So the judge delays it to January of 2026. Now, in August of 2025, the defense comes back and says, we want to change a venue. We don't think he can get a fair trial here. Judge denies that. And judge is like, we're going to court in January of 2026, regardless. So now we're at January 2026. But now the defense is starting to say that they think that the prosecutor is acting with some sort of misconduct or whatever. They're saying that the prosecutor, maybe they're not giving discovery. I don't know what it is. I can't find anything on it, but it's delayed until March 26th. So it goes from January 26th to March 26th. And the judge says, that's the last time. We're not moving this damn thing again. Except we're going to move the damn thing again. The defense comes forward again. And this time they request another continuance. And this time it's some sort of family situation. There's an emergency or something. We don't really know why, but it is moved to May 11, 2026. So you have Larry is unable to stand trial. Larry can't afford his attorney. New attorneys are brought in. They need time to study the case. He can't really afford to pay them. They keep delaying. We want a change of venue. Nope. We think the prosecution is acting with misconduct. No. It keeps going and going. So that is how we got from October 2021 to May of 2026 when this trial began. Now, from the beginning, the judge said this would last about 3 months, which I thought was crazy, but there's 152 witnesses. We've waited 5 years to get here. So we are not rushing this. We want to hear every single witness. And because there's no body, this one's really hard to prove. They have to have every other bit of circumstantial evidence they can possibly gather. So he's trying to give both sides plenty of time to walk through this. And I don't know how many defense witnesses there are. I think that's just prosecution. I don't know how many defense witnesses there are. I really honestly, I hate delays, and I know this has been very hard on Maya's family, but at least this way you can pretty much guarantee there's not going to be any chance at an appeal. Right? We didn't rush things. We didn't miss things. We looked under every single rock. We gave both sides plenty of time every single time, except for the last time that the defense asked for a delay. It was honored. There is no excuse why they aren't ready to go. And so now here we are, we're on day like 20 of this trial, and it's sure to go probably another month.